good evening, good day to you. We're here with the man of the hour, and I'm very appreciative of everybody who's coming into these Freestyle Fridays, touching base. What's going on? It's another day in the office. It's another day in the office. My goodness, okay. So we busy. I understand. I copy that. So with all that being said, I just wanted to say and to begin with, the person and the guest that we have this week has put many years and many hours and a lot of focus and a lot of passion behind their pen, behind who they are as a person, and behind what message they convey. And this is somebody who thinks thoroughly about what they're going to say before they say it. And that's one of the reasons why we felt as though on the Life is a Freestyle program that we wanted to bring on somebody whom is as authentic as they possibly can be in these moments, on to be able to give us some insight about their perspective and who they are and what made them as committed to their words as they are. So everybody, Daylyt, to some, Daylyt IT, if you know, you know. So I just want to say, first of all, brother, I really appreciate you coming on here with us and taking a moment of your time. I know you're extremely busy to be able to talk to us. How you feeling today, man? How you feeling right now?
I'm working on zero sleep. We've been at the office. We've been at the
working
office
on zero sleep
for about 3 days straight now. So
word.
It's
word.
a cook session. Every with this whole Corona shit, like a lot of people shooting all their guns, but we more so just like it's like stockpile.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah. You guys been locking in. Yeah. Right. Super lock-in. I feel that. So yeah, bro. I mean, basically, I feel like that's incredibly important, especially during this time where there was a line that I heard recently that was from a snippet that Lou YT had thrown on, and it was, you can either take this time to get in shape or eat a cake. Yeah. And I find it very interesting that you're in a position where you realize there's either people whom are either producing work or they're consuming work, So I'm seeing a lot of dynamic change, and there's like this big split that's happening in between people. But to get right to these questions, basically the format of this is we have 16 bars, which are 16 different checkpoints basically built up where we can touch on, and maybe we can get a little bit more about the complexities of your process when it comes to freestyling and being able to talk about who you are as a person, so we can get directly right into it.
Let's get it.
So in your opinion, what role does language play in our ability to get through this lockdown era?
I wouldn't necessarily say like what role. I would more so say how vital it is. It's most definitely essential as far as like tying in time to use this time to really break things like essential down, like just the word essential.
Right. If you could briefly, yeah. We'd love to hear.
And just breaking, like taking the time to break down 90% of the words you use and really understanding where the words derive from, really understanding the acronyms inside of the words. And I think like once you start to look at the things from that perspective, you'll understand a lot more about the era. You'll understand like what COVID really means. You'll understand what Corona means. Corona is also an acronym. You'll start to see a lot of things different. So like I said, I would say how not necessarily much like from the first initiative question, but more so like how essential it is right now. It's extremely essential to really understand language on a super high level.
Right. So do you feel like when it comes to the research, really all aspects of language itself, especially the language we're receiving during this time, I feel like there's a lot of, people are on so many different sides of this thing, right? And everyone has their own approaches as to how they should live their life, how other people should live their life. But what I'm gathering from your answer is that most people don't even really know the origin of how they feel to even go off of anything, right?
Yeah, 95% of people in this world emotionally are based to zero. And what I mean by that is we really don't even know what is right and wrong from the jump to even calculate a full emotion, because the entire system that was given to us is based upon a system inside systems that'll trick you to do something without you even knowing it's harming you. For example, go to the store right now and buy something that says 100% juice. And this is the trick in language. We fail to realize that juice is also an acronym. So you believe you're getting 100% juice, when in all actuality, you're not getting it. And then if you go to the back of the bottle, it'll literally tell you this item contains 0 juice. It contains 0 fruit, 0 real fruit. It says 0%. So it's all about like the wording aspect of it for you to even calculate what you're doing in the first place. And I think when you don't understand that, you can't really make full decisions. So we all make decisions based off what we really don't know.
I feel that, and that what I feel like is it forces people to kind of break out of a certain mold or break out of a certain routine that they would normally have when it comes to approaching what they're normally approaching. So I was kind of curious as to, you know, what have you been able to do lately to kind of keep yourself from getting that cabin fever, or when you're trapped in a certain way, what's that spark that kind of goes off in your mind that unlocks the idea of, you know, there's got to be an alternative way to be able to get out of, you know, that thought process of being contained?
Me, I've kind of lived my entire career different from a lot of artists. And I lived the double-edged sword career. Like on one side, I'm known as Daylyt, the lyricist out of this world. And then on the next side, it's people that don't even know I can rap.
Right, which is insane.
People that don't know me for rapping at all. It's people that knows me only from Vlad TV and Young M.A. and all types of shit.
That's insane. But yeah, continue. Like, proceed.
So it's people that don't know me. So in order for me to escape that other scenario, I can jump in my other world, right? Like just with the world that don't know me. So my thing is, to this world, which is the lyrical world, I have to be Miro level good to impress y'all.
Sure.
And sometimes it's hard to live up to those levels, like especially when you drop some fire and you got to beat your last fire.
Sure.
I can drop medium grade and promote that to the Vlad TV world, and they'll be like, "This shit is godly."
Yeah, sure.
So
because
those are kind of ways that I maneuver in that scenario from the
right. And I definitely feel that it's almost like I kind of liken it to the idea of like of a yoga kind of scenario. We always find this comfortable edge, right? Where you feel like you're leaning into an area where it's it might be new to you in terms of when you're writing, right? You're writing about something. What's going on, IT? You're writing about a topic that maybe is a new topic that you're researching, but you know will be a very deep well for the next piece that you're working on. And then you put yourself in a position where it's like, man, I'm not really used to speaking on this topic, and there is a little bit of a dangerousness to it. But the deeper you get in the stretch, that burning, that pain goes away. And you find yourself all of a sudden becoming seated in this position. And it really takes you out of your comfort zone, right? Yeah. So that really brings me to this next topic that I think is like extremely interesting. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about it. But it's do you feel like 2020 was already destined to kind of be a renaissance era for art, regardless of COVID in general, putting in consideration the build up in 2019 to this specific point? Because there was a lot of pressure, I guess you could say, behind the idea of this year being something to marvel at, right? And now it's turned into this renaissance era of pushing through other external things. What are some of your perspectives on that?
Like I said prior, life in general, we're never given one option. Everything comes in twos, dog. Like from options, because yes or no, like the term yes or no, you can't have a yes and not a no. Like it doesn't work like that. Like, there is no yes. There's never been a time in life where there was just yes. There was no no.
There's a definitive.
Yes no. It's infinite yes or no, do or don't, maybe, maybe not. Like It
Right.
comes with it. It comes with each other. So I think
Right.
life right now is split between, like, it's a line, and normally we live the world not seeing a line. Like, it's been a long time where we couldn't really see like the fine line between this and that. Now we can see it on a world scale. It's like, okay, them niggas is over there, these niggas over here, these type of rappers over here, the conscious woke niggas over there. You can see the lines now. So with this whole thing, what I mean by like the lines also is, for the past, I would say for the past, since the Great Depression, the first time, from then when the world opened back up and jobs and everything opened back up, we've been on a consistent day-to-day life cycle since then of insanity and crazy people. And when I say crazy people, once again, going back into the form of words, you have to understand what the word crazy means. Crazy means to literally do the same thing over and over and over.
Right, repetition, so recursion.
Repetition, like in the form of like that's destroying yourself, but you keep doing it over and over.
Yeah, mundane repetition.
Think about this. For the last, I don't know, since whenever the Great Depression was, I don't know the exact date, but let's just say it was 100 years ago. I don't know. Just say that. For the last 100 years, people have been getting in their cars, whether it was Model T Ford or whatever the fuck it was. They have been getting in their cars, going to work, getting stuck in traffic, and leaving every day for the last 100 years.
Right.
When Corona hit and everything hit, people panicked, but it actually slowed people down.
That's correct. It slowed everybody down. Yep.
Everybody down and said, hey, look at the world. Look at, you never had time for your children. Look at your life. And I think at that point, that's when it said, okay, you can either sit here and wait for the Corona to go back up and go back into robot mode.
And potentially drive yourself crazy in that process.
Yeah, or drive yourself crazy in the process, not knowing where you're going to get your last dollar from. A lot of people that wasn't creators are now creators, because now it's like I'm pushed to only, like, being a creator is my only way to eat now.
That's correct.
So I think, like I said, it's just a fine line. And when you start to realize that there is a fine line in life and you have the decision to go left or you have the decision to go right, I think that's what it is for me. Knowing that there's a decision, and that's kind of how I get through the moment. It's like, I know that there's a decision. I know I can or I can't. And I know that people can or people can't. For example, the stock market opened up right now.
Right.
In the midst of the Corona, I got Uber stocks are like at $100-some prior to this. The Corona hit, Uber stocks went down to $7. I told everybody that I knew about this. Wow. Yeah. Now, once again, you have an option. You can invest into this or not. People didn't. People bought Jordans. People bought, whatever they needed to buy.
Yeah, monetary
stocks
fluff.
were lower than the weed. People were buying $40 grams and all type of shit. You could have saved that 40 and bought 4 stocks. When Uber goes back up, because when shit open back up, stocks are gonna go beyond trillions, sky high.
Right.
So Uber opens back up, stocks are probably gonna go up to like $200. You're gonna quadruple. So more of the story is, what I'm saying is, it was an option though, and everybody knows the option. It's up to you to follow it. Let's take 6ix9ine, for example.
Sure.
Everybody has an option not to listen to him. You can't say you hate him, but you went and seen what he did.
Sure.
Options. So that's the thing, like, that's how I get through life. I just know that there's options.
Right. So you definitely have spoken on, again, there's this innate touch of the binary, right? And this innate focus on the idea of, most people feel like they're robbed of their choices, right? Most people feel like, oh no, it has to be A or B. But the thing is, the idea of that dynamic.
Wait, hold on.
Yep. Oh, this is getting good, yo. This is getting good. I really appreciate everybody in here. This is Freestyle Fridays. This is Life is a Freestyle page. We do this every single Friday and bring on new guests every time, people who are professionals within their craft. and we're very thankful to have Daylyt on the program right now. And so if y'all could do me the huge favor of smashing the like button. We're only a little bit in, and we're already getting a plethora of gems so far. So if y'all can just keep pressing that like button and getting a bunch of people in here, I really appreciate that. It's taking it's taking an amazing amount of research to be able to get these guests on here. So we appreciate every single person in this live. I'm sure we're about to get Daylyt back on here in a little bit, but I'm really excited about some more of these questions that we have to be able to touch on, because our focus is.
My bad, y'all. My bad.
Oh, you good? No, you good, bro. You good, G. I mean, you know, you're a busy cat right now, you know. So we definitely appreciate the time. So bouncing off of what you said and getting directly to the point. So what's the worst mindset for people to have in a time like this then?
The worst mindset I would say to have in times like this is believing that this is going to affect you. This is the best thing that's ever happened to us. Ever.
Expand on that.
Once again, it's lines, right? So when this shit happened and everything happened, a lot of people panicked. People was just like, oh my God, the world was about to end and all this extra stuff. For me, I understand like how the universe works, right? Volcanoes. Are volcanoes evil? Are they good or bad? Fiery lava comes out and wipes out entire fucking areas.
Right.
Is a volcano intentions bad? No. That shit is a way that Earth recreates life.
It's a restart button.
It's a restart. All this land right here will be covered and flowers will grow on top of this shit. It's a restart button. Right now, with this whole coronavirus shit, it's most definitely a restart button. And this is what I mean by the restart button. A lot of things opened up at this moment where people who didn't have this, you know how like Black Friday happened and you can buy things that you couldn't normally buy?
Right.
That's what has happened right now. So all the smart people is like, let me buy land. While shit is dirt cheap. Let me buy land, let me buy stocks, let me buy this, let me buy that, let me buy that, let me buy that. And all the other people that don't get it, they just panicking.
That's right. That you have the people who are being kinetic, and then you got static people who are just sitting there like not sure what to do, not sure how to what the next step could potentially be, and then because of that, they find themselves in a place where there's no progress being made. They're not going forwards or backwards.
Yeah, it's also too like with with the whole virus itself, right? Like people understand like our immune system is all tied into our mind, and if you can close your mind, you can close your immune system too. And how the body works. Disease, you got to think, one of the most common things that could kill you is stress. Stress could kill you faster than any AIDS. Stress could kill you faster than AIDS, any disease. Stress.
That's facts. That's
Why
facts.
haven't they labeled stress as a disease? Like stress. Like,
people, we just got to anxiety recently.
Is that a ghost? Like, is stress like a living organism? Like, what is stress? It's literally worrying about something so much that your body died.
And it's been around forever. It's prehistoric.
So what I'm saying is like, with the whole shit, if you're thinking of it in a negative way and it's gonna affect you, it's gonna affect you. I've learned a valuable thing about how this world works, and I know the booby traps and tricks and trades.
Yep.
Every nigga I know had a mask on, and the niggas that I know didn't have a mask on, and none of them got sick. It doesn't matter. It's just in the mind.
Right.
It's all in the mind. If you won't look, when you understand the epic line of these programmers that program all this shit, they got life program. They got everybody's death number. They know who's gonna die, who's not gonna die. They know. It's your time to go. It's your time.
Right. Those people who know you for the literary things that you've done, right? The people who've known you for the work that you put in with the pen or writing at the mic, right? When it comes to your battle rap legacy, and when it comes to what you've given to the world in the last decade plus, right? In terms of the work that you put in. Now you're competing with these people in the moment. You're put in a position of, needless to say, stress, right? You're put in a position where there's more than one aspect of it. There's not only the person that you're battling in front, you're also battling yourself. You're also battling the clock. You're also battling the audience. Because even though you might have said something that you know is way more pressure than the guy that you're battling against, at the same time, if the crowd's taken to him, it's going to make it look like he won, even though that wasn't really the case, right? So you're fighting against perception as well. So there's all these different pieces and all these moving pieces to it. So it's actually very, very complicated. Each round is super complicated and intricate. Do you feel like competition makes your life more valuable or less valuable? Or does it make life in general more valuable or less valuable?
I'm gonna put something in your mind. I'm gonna drop you a gem, and I'm gonna drop all the artists in here an ultimate gem.
Please do.
Something that I discovered. A question that I want to ask anybody is Cyclops better than Wolverine?
Okay.
No. They both have can Wolverine shoot shit out his eyes? No.
No.
Do Cyclops have claws? No.
No.
How do you even determine who's better when they don't have the same power?
There's no baseline.
There is no such thing as competition if you are 100% yourself. If
That's
you
100%
are
correct.
100% Greg,
That's 100%.
nobody can be a better Greg than you.
That's 100%. That's 100%. And that's the cheat code.
You can't.
That's the cheat code.
Master yourself and try to beat your last level. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody else can be a better you than you.
Yeah. That's huge. That's
There
huge
is
because
no competition is fictionary when you say I'm gonna get in line with everybody else and try to win a game that everybody else playing. If you are 100% your own self, there's zero competition.
So when you found yourself in the time when you were down, it was 1-1 in terms of these rounds, right? It didn't matter who was in front of you, who was around you, everything. Because it was something you mentioned to me in the past when you said when you said I had the superpower to erase people.
Yeah.
Right.
For me, right. It was also before I got to the superpower to erase. Mm-hmm. It was also I created a bubble inside of my own career where when people had a style that everybody was using, I didn't use it. I was like, I'm Daylyt. I make my own styles. I wear my own clothes. I never wore no name, none of my whole career. I never wore no name brand fashion. Like somebody asked, yo, Daylyt, what jersey is that? This is mine. It's like, it's my jersey. Right? So I created a bubble of, I have to be the best me. So this is why I could never lose battles. Like when people say, Daylyt, like he might have never lost. Like some people say I lost because they have favorites. Right. But for the people that like really hardcorely listen to lyricism, I lose battles because I built my own world of Daylyt was good. Right. I liked Daylyt and he was extremely dope. So I focused on being the best me. Long as I can come out of a battle saying I was good for like what I like. Like I did my best. I won in here. I won in here. That's right. I don't give a fuck what the general public. That's right. What the mass think. If I can look in the mirror and go, I got all 3 of my rounds off, and them shits was dope as fuck. I don't care who didn't react. I know I wrote some fire. So it matters, bro. You can't lose. There is no way to lose when you are only in competition with yourself. There is no way to lose, bro.
Do you feel like, I love that. I love that because it's something that I feel like people have been told in other ways, but not necessarily in ways that actually make an impact. I liken it to the idea of like, it's striking a certain area of the body and then hitting a pressure point. It feels different.
Like
right?
let's take Lou Muro,
Sure.
right? And
Favorite record, one of my favorite records.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, I heard Muro before it dropped, before it hit the streets.
Right.
We in a van. Lou like, yo, Day, I want to play you something. It's after the show in LA. He like, yo, I want to play you something. So I'm like, all right, here we go. He walked me to the van. He opened the door slowly. He was like, hey, have a seat right here. And I'm like, I know he up to something. He up to some godly type shit because he very subtle about this.
Right, right.
He plays me Muro. I lost my mind. I'm like, I'm never going to beat that. This is what I'm telling myself as an artist. The shit was so nasty. I'm like, I'm never going to beat that. And
sure.
When I was living in that realm of never going to beat that, I was destroying myself because I was trying to reach that ceiling. Lou
Cool.
reached his own ceiling with Muro. Not a ceiling, but he reached a plateau with Muro. That was his plateau. It wasn't for me to reach that plateau. And I kept thinking that I got to, and that shit, it roadblocked me for a minute. And
sure.
So I said, I have to reach my own plateau. Whatever it is for me to reach, I got to reach that.
Right.
And I just started working on other stuff. Like, so instead of saying I had to beat it, I used it as inspiration. Create a plateau for yourself and climb that fucking mountain.
Right. Right.
So my plateau, my thing is like, I'm an entendre-based dude, right? Like that's one of my specialties is entendres and more so like palindromes, right?
Right. Palindromes.
And
yep.
Like I'm a this type of rapper, like backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards in the entendre, right?
Interpolation all the time. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. I created obstacles for myself. Like, okay, let me see if I can do like a 20-layer entendre. Like shit like that. Like I know there's a bunch of words that mean the same thing that can be doubled back to the same thing. Wait, it don't mean the same. Like you get what I'm saying?
like a thesaurus with 20 synonyms.
Yeah, like but just in a small bar, like so those are goals that I made for myself. So going back into the whole Muro shit, and going back into that whole perspective of the question is more so like don't really get caught up in that mind state of trying to reach a level that wasn't designed for you to reach.
Indeed.
Dennis Rodman was never going to be Michael Jordan, so he said, I'm going to be the best Rodman. I'm going to grab rebounds, and I'm going to do Rodman. And for that, he's going to go down in the history books as being Rodman.
100%. Because he
didn't, like Rodman didn't say, I'm going to start shooting fadeaways too.
Right. Because then you end up being a Diet Jordan at that point. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're compromising your own authenticity and your own validity and putting yourself up against anything else. And that's the same thing that I realized when it comes to penning my own personal work. It's the idea of, what do I want out of this? What is my authorial intention coming out of this work? What do I want? And it's something that a lot of people don't ask themselves when they're working on what they're working on, especially during this time. I mean, I feel like in general, when things are normal, it's a challenge for some people, but for other people, especially during this time, when they're faced with the real version of themselves, they're asking, damn, I don't even know what I want, and then now they're put in a position where they have to really face and climb the highest gradient of the mountain they got to climb. And a lot of times the easiest way for the pressure to escape is comparing yourself to somebody else when that's not really you facing the actual problem.
No, the bigger problem is the music industry has sold us a mountain, and that mountain is I don't really feel I'm there unless I'm on billboards or unless I'm getting Grammys, and it's mountains inside of mountains. So you got the up and coming rapper like, hey, I just want to get 100 views. Nigga, I'd be happy with 100 views. Then you got the medium inspired rapper like, yo, I'm averaging like 10, 15K. Nobody can't tell me shit. Then you got the 100,000 view rapper that's like, yo, nigga, I'm in the industry. But then the higher million view niggas don't really fuck with the 100 view niggas. Then you got the million view niggas. And then you got niggas who win Grammys. And then you got niggas who win Grammys trying to chase. It's like multiple level mountains, right? Of people just trying to like climb. All these people fail to realize there's a fucking choo-choo train tunnel that goes straight through the mountain. Go straight to you climbing the mountain to get to the other side. There's a train that goes straight to the mountain. And that train is literally believing in yourself 100%. Once you believe in yourself 100% and you become completely self-sufficient in your own world, you'll realize I can just take the fucking train.
Right. That's exactly right. And I think that's something that, another one of the ITs went ahead and touched on in the comments is that success has always been and always will be subjective. So regardless of wherever, people think, it's the same thing going back to the battles. It's the idea of, hey, it seemed like for round 2 or round 3, he didn't really do X, Y, and Z. But it's like, the thing is it might not even be for you. It might be fulfilling what exactly my focus is within the context of whatever I'm trying to convey, right? And whatever message I feel like is of the utmost importance right now, So this goes directly into the next topic in a very beautiful way, which is, how does the complexity through the palette.
Before you go, somebody in the comments said, "Where the train at?"
Oh, yep.
All right, here is the bar. Yep. Training, just literally training.
That's it. The answer's in the work. The answer's in the question.
Literally go in your bathroom and train on yourself. Just train. Whatever you do the best, train.
Yeah.
That's the metaphor of it. Train.
Yeah.
It's a train that'll take you to the other side of the mountain.
Yeah. The way you literally focus on your tunnel vision of the train in the tunnel is actually training within the. Come on, man.
Thank you.
We do this for real. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Tunnel vision train. You feel me? It's a lot of things, man.
Yep. And so that's exactly it. Is that you have this very unique way of how you actually approach to be able to overcome some of the actual thought processes and the problems when barriers do present themselves. Like when you face these enormous challenges in your life, right? You face these enormous. It seems like, man, I'm gonna have to bust a move, otherwise this is the situation that I'm gonna be in. How does your complexity of thought? How does your complexity of thought help you solve problems? He's in the middle of a conversation. My bad. All right. Mind y'all, he's in the middle of something. He's in the middle of something pretty pressing right now, so we got to give him just a quick moment. It's a perfect opportunity.
Hold on real quick, Greg.
Oh yeah, no problem, bro. This is a perfect opportunity for y'all to drop questions. If you want to continuously drop more questions, maybe we can get your questions in. Right. Maybe we can get your questions in, and then we can incorporate them into the conversation. So I appreciate every single person coming in and touching base. I know you I know you're in the middle of something. So whenever you're ready, let me know.
I'm in a situation. It just got kind of hectic real quick, so I'm gonna have to get up out of here. But
Okay, yeah. Well,
I got it. Yeah, it's kind of real right now.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate your time. I already know the gravity of the situation.
I'm gonna hit you in a minute, Greg. Let me situate this shit real quick.
All right, no doubt, bro. Appreciate your time, man. Thank you, bro. Sir. Appreciate it.
Bless.
Love. It was a learning experience for me, for sure. You know what I mean? It was a learning experience for, I'm sure, a lot of you in here as well. Again, this is the Life is a Freestyle platform. We bring on creatives every single Friday to be able to touch base with and kind of learn a little bit more about their craft, learn a little bit more about how they approach their specific profession. And so maybe we can learn a little bit about what they do. It's not only specific for rappers. It's also people whom paint. It's also for musicians. It's also for culinary, for cooks. It's also for singers. It's also for dancers. It's also for computer programmers. It's for people who only do public speaking, people who only do, they're carpenters. This is any craft where you feel as though you're in a position where when you face a barrier and you want to overcome that barrier and you want to try to reach into the inner part of yourself to be able to be a better person. And then every time you come in contact with that barrier, you have a way of getting around it. This Life is a Freestyle page is about dynamism. And it's about finding out who you are on the deeper part of yourself through the creation process. So if you feel like that's something that you're interested in, if you feel like sticking around for this journey as we learn about all these different new topics and how to get better at freestyling and interpolating through life, and feel free to drop the follow. We're here every single week, Freestyle Friday. My name is Greg Newman. I appreciate every single person in here. We got a little bit of time left, so I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of your Friday. Good evening, good day, and peace to all y'all, all right? Late.